We just finished watching Game 3 of the NBA Finals. The result was the Denver Nuggets won 109-94, and it wasn't that close. Just be honest. You had to figure that Mike Malone was going to get this team in order after what happened last time, right? The team played with the lack of effort, and that was the main message that was being sent out the whole time. And the Denver Nuggets definitely came out with it. The stats tell the tale. I don't know what the ending rebounding stat was, but the rebounding stats were atrocious. That's where I'm gonna start the conversation off. So yeah, Denver had a total of 58 rebounds, 58 to Miami's 33. And the discrepancy was even larger than that. Miami had a little run towards the end where they kept grabbing some offensive rebounds, but it was really, really bad. And rebounding is a stat about effort to me. And the Denver Nuggets showed that. Now, you did have some amazing, like, unexpected performances from, like, Chris Brown, or Braun, how you want to pronounce it, but it's Brown.
Caleb Brown, yeah.
That was, like, very surprising. And the appearance of both Murray and Jokic getting triple doubles here. And the key thing about Jokic, he had 30 and 20. And they show the stats tonight. The most in playoff history to have at least a 30-20 stat like that. That is amazing. Jokic is playing like Jokic does. Zay, what happened to the Heat tonight, man?
A key point you touched on already was the rebounding effort. Like you said, rebounding is a key stat when you want to win a basketball game. And there's effort. And obviously we know Murray went for 34. Jokic went for 32. But he also had 21 rebounds. Murray almost had a triple-double. I think he was like a rebound short or something like that.
He got it. He got it at the very end of the game.
Oh. Well, yeah. We got torched for 2 triple-doubles, and one guy had 20 rebounds and 30 points. That is horrendous. And obviously they had help with Caleb Brown off the bench. He was a spark. And the thing I saw that was different for the Nuggets tonight, there's a time, when you slow things down and try to analyze, but they came out with a sense of urgency, not just effort. Every time, even like as I was able to look at each quarter differently. Like the first quarter, they came out with a sense of urgency. They came out looking to get buckets. They were looking to get into their offense and get into the basket, which they did a lot. But the Heat were able to match that in the first quarter, and that's what had the game close for the majority of the first half. In the second quarter, they came back there. They decided to not let up the punches, and I feel like the Heat just kind of not deflated, but they didn't match the intensity. They didn't match that urgency. So of course, Jokic is just insane. He's not only can he hit any shot from anywhere, but he can get to where he wants to and get the rebound and be able to set his other guys up, which is too much. If you let him have this type of night, you completely have blown the chance to even give yourself a chance to win the game. And that's what happened tonight. There were plays where, the Heat just kind of looked like, all right, we're in the game, but the Nuggets were like, we're going to keep punching. We're not going to, fall back and try to counter. We're going to punch and punch and punch. And the Heat did not. There was a play where I'm saying like Jamal Murray shoots a jump shot, and it was Jimmy Butler. I'm like, Jimmy guards him to the point. All right, he missed the shot, but he turned around to run down the court, and the ball's still live. Murray goes get the rebound, and we can't give up that type of possession, especially from the top, like from our leader. And I know that he had a decent game, but that's not going to get it done if we can't get rebounds, if we can't get defensive stops. And that's what happened tonight. They were able to take advantage of just lackluster effort, and they were the more urgent team. We have to play with the Heat have to play with a bigger sense of urgency to be able to win games, especially when Murray is looking to be aggressive after his last game. He didn't play so well. We knew Jokic was going to do Jokic things, but we can't let him get 30, 20, and 10. If he gets that, you've shot yourself in the foot, basically. So that is pretty much the telltale of the game. There were some positives to take away from the Heat, but honestly, it's what Coach Spo says. Short-term memory, forget about it. You got to get a next game mentality, because tonight was terrible on the defensive end. You got to have the effort, just like Mike Malone told to his squad. He said in the one of the breaks, I remember that he was saying, we've lost the last 2 fourth quarters. We have to win tonight. We win this when we win the game, and they did. So you have to close the game. You have to play with intensity and have a sense of urgency throughout the game. And they played a little too relaxed for me tonight. So shout out to the Nuggets. Shout out to Jokic for setting, another record, making history. But if you're a Heat fan, obviously you don't want that happening against our team. So
there's a lot of things to talk about with this game. We hit on a lot of it. We talked about defensive effort from the Heat. We talked about the rebounding and just overall lack of effort from the Heat and not matching that intensity that Denver was showing. Yeah. It also shows up in like how they scored. Like, for example, the Heat actually shot 35 threes. The Nuggets only shot 18.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of tells you a story, and because of that, Denver had more free throw attempts. Because they're actually trying to get into the paint. That it's like how you play. And don't get me wrong, during the regular season, Miami was not a good perimeter shooting team. Am I right about that? But the postseason is like, y'all are great from three. I mean, I get it, it's working, but tonight it just wasn't happening. For example, this is the first time Gabe Vincent had this type of game in this playoff series. Only 7 points. Mm-hmm. He's been consistent in giving you at least 15 to 20. But this is the first time we get something from him. Max Strus went back, just 3 points. That's it. 3 points from Max Strus. I don't really expect a lot of scoring from Kevin Love, but the lack of rebounding though, two rebounds. That's it. That's not gonna get it done. And Caleb Martin had 10, but Kyle Lowry, it's Robinson. I mean, it's tough. So let's talk about some things that he can do for game 4 at this point. So one thing you have to think about, what's the health of Kyle Lowry? He took a nasty little slip towards the end of the game in the fourth quarter. It didn't look good. Looked like he was in pain. But this could lead us to what we see Tyler Hero in this next game. Depending on the rotation, like if the Kyle Lowry needs to be out, you're gonna kind of have to put Hero in. I mean, I do like Highsmith, but you still need something else. Kyle Lowry pushes the pace for you, the playmaking ability, and you lose some of that. I think Caleb Martin can do some of those things, but it's like, I would feel more confident if I had Tyler Hero on the floor too. Just his shot creation and his shot making, which the Heat really could have used tonight. So maybe we'll see Tyler Hero. That's something to question. And I'm gonna ask you this: what can the Heat do defensively for game 4?
Box out.
Yep.
Box out. that's that's the biggest thing. I'm honestly I hate that Kyle got hurt. I hope he's okay. I hope he's able to recover and get some rest, be able to, and it's not like a significant injury, I
Yeah.
hope. But I really don't know what the status of Tyler Hero is. Still
All
recovering from
reports
the
it's looking good. What I've been hearing, like he's been doing contact drills and
Yep,
he's been looking good. So
for
I'm
sure.
not sure what
I
the. I mean, because you guys won game 2, it kind of gives you like give him the extra day of rest or whatever. But now, considering the circumstances, now you don't currently have home court advantage anymore. Kyle Lowry's health could be in jeopardy. You probably want to go ahead and put Tyler Hero into the
Yeah,
game if he's healthy now. Like as long as he's healthy, he can play.
yeah,
Go ahead and do it.
yeah. That would be a big help, but he's been out for majority of the playoffs. I'm just under the assumption, under like the guys that all right, we're probably going to be without him at least for the next foreseeable game,
Yeah.
being game 4, and from there, really, I'm not really mad at offensively. I feel like if we don't make the mistakes on the defensive side of the ball that we are in this game, besides the free throws, they shot probably like 7 to 8 more free throws than we did. And obviously,
free throw
that
spare
is-
wasn't huge, but still
it wasn't huge, and we shot like 31%, which was higher than
that
they did from the 3.
true. But
But
overall field goal percentage was terrible though.
Yeah,
37%. That's not going to work. And the Nuggets shot 51%. That also kind of tells you something right there too.
yeah. So the main thing I feel like is going back to the game plan of all right, make Jokic be the scorer, but also cut off Jamal Murray. Cut off Murray. I think we did. Obviously, like Porter Jr. hasn't been like a big offensive contributor for them in the series so far, which is good. Gordon started. He
That
had
one
some.
game.
He had some impactful shots this game. Then Caleb Brown came off the bench with like great energy. Our guys have to match that energy, and really it's about just limiting the other guys. Like Jokic, it's kind of hard to say, but it's like, man, Jokic does not miss a lot of shots. When I'm looking at it, I'm like, all right, 1 foot fadeaway, touch shot in the paint, 3 ball. He scoop layup. I'm like, bro, this dude just can't miss. So if he's doing that and he's getting 10 assists, that is terrible. We are not going to give ourselves a chance with him having that type of scoring night and he's getting everybody else involved. Yeah, like if we're gonna let Jokic score, or we're not gonna let him score, obviously, but make him be he has to drop 70 points to beat us because we're gonna cut off the other guys. Cut off Murray. I like that we were trapping, but it just like in the second half, he figured it out. Jokic was able to get other guys involved, and still we can't let the other guy. We have to cut off the others. If that's the best thing you can do in this situation, because Jokic has shown that he can just go and get buckets. So if we get 30 from Jokic, but we limit like Jamal Murray to like 15 or less, and the other guys 10 or less, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really about that defensive effort, man. That's what I think is the key. The offense will come, and like I said, just like the first game, Max didn't score. Gabe had like 3 or 4 fouls by halftime or the beginning of the third quarter. One of those fouls where I was like, all right, that's just questionable, but all right, cool, ref. So that was kind of an anomaly that I feel like doesn't repeat itself unless they just go and forget how to shoot the basketball completely. I feel like the offensive side is, and Jimmy had a decent game too. Bam was decent. He just needed help on the boards. He had 17 boards, 22 points. But the rest of our guys, like after that, like Jimmy had 2 rebounds, Kevin Love had 2 rebounds, and that's our power forward. You know what I mean? Like we got to get on the boards. We got to help Bam because he's also the defensive guy who's guarding Jokic. He's switching on Murray. He's switching on the other. That's a lot, and he's getting all the boards. Just help him on the boards at the very minimum, and then give effort because our defense was not terrible in the first half, but they just kind of figured it out. So we have to do a good job of adjusting, which I know Spo and Jimmy and everybody else they're gonna do.
Man, all those are good points. And shout out to the Nuggets though. Shout out to them, to Murray and Jokic for actually playing those high minutes. Personally, if you're Nuggets, the only thing you need to do to adjust, honestly, rest up Jokic and Murray as much as you can, because unlike the other games, you only have 1 day in between. I am worried. I picked the Nuggets, by the way. I'm worried that this fatigue is going to show up in this game. I'm predicting both of them are not going to have good nights on Friday. One of them is just going to be too fatigued. That's my prediction right now. I do not foresee both of them having these super high games like this. It could be Jokic. I don't know. It could be Murray, but not both of them. It's the fact that both of them went off. Basically took over the game tonight. And the contribution of Brown. That was the main difference too. Because when we think about it, all the others didn't really have good games. Like KCP, he only had 6 points.
Yeah.
Aaron Gordon, he only had 11. He didn't give you 15. And Michael Porter, only 2 points. Like the others didn't really. It was mostly just Murray, Jokic, and Brown. That's it.
Yeah.
It's just a defense, man. If like, for example, like lost by 15. Imagine you had those 15 points by Brown.
Exactly.
Right there. So like,
exactly. Yeah.
Just a defense showing up on defensive side, and that's the main adjustment for the Heat. Were they switching a lot? Like, how was Murray able to go off like that?
I
know
honestly,
you figured out the trap.
He figured out the trap, or at least he figured out how to make a play out of it. And by the way, welcome in Jay Wright, welcome in Jacoby Gilmore. Shout out to y'all for joining in. I think for the most part, if he was able to get his shot off, even like the step back to his, I feel like I was watching him and I'm like, all right, he likes to go right and get that little step back jump or that little pull up jumper, or he can get all the way to the rim with a floater or whatever. Like if he's going right, he's pretty dangerous. But I noticed like for a slight second when we pushed him left in the trap, he kind of struggled. But tonight he just was able to get to that right side, get to that little step back pull up, and he was knocking it down. He was aggressive, of course, because he knew like last game he didn't play well.
Right.
But for the most part, his athletic ability allows him to be able to kind of elevate quickly. I do think that if we do try to trap, if we get him on the left side, force him like baseline, that could make it a little more troublesome for him. But the thing is, this is what happened. Like, all right, they're trapping Murray, all right, getting the ball out of his hands, but who does he go to? Jokic. And where's Jokic? In the middle of the floor. And what's Jokic got? Like 360 vision. So he's like dishing. Which obviously like Porter Jr. and KCP didn't have great games, but he was getting to the basket. So it's like, all right, you got to pick the poison in this situation and force Murray left. But tonight, Jamal was just like, if he was able to get to the right side, he was most of the time scoring.
It's a good analysis right there. So I'm pretty sure hopefully Spo picked that up too. Try to get Jamal going left.